And the thing about our society today is that it's so driven by media. And don't forget, if you're think of the kind of people who go into media, who go into who are in front of the camera, who are speaking on the microphones, who are creating content. They're typically Rajasic people. Because if you're tamasic, you don't really want to be on a TV screen. You don't really want to be doing a podcast if you're tamasic. You don't have the energy. You don't want to put yourself out there. You don't have the confidence. And if you're sattvic, you don't particularly want to do that either. Because you don't need to do a radio show or a podcast or be an actor and be on everyone's TV screens necessarily. So it's the Rajasic people who are in front of the TV screens, in front of the cameras on your TV screens. And they're the people writing all the scripts as well, for the most part, because they've got the energy to do it, and they've got the energy to succeed and network and get their scripts put forward and rise up the business well. So in all the spheres where you've got the business sphere and the CEOs, you look at the artistic sphere as well, how passion and Rajasic energy is revered and worshipped. Oh, he's so passionate, he's so alive, she's so passionate. And so it's all the Rajasic energy that's deified and glorified. And the movers and the shakers of society, by definition, because they're the movers and the shakers, they're Rajasic. So this makes it difficult for post-Rajasic societies to develop, you see. So, but they have developed. And, this is one of the reasons why you've got these great traditions, because they would have gone beyond Rajasic energy and at some point in their development become a sattvic orientated society to a greater or lesser extent. And this is where you get the different traditions arising. But in our media dominated world, it's very difficult for that to happen. And of course, because Rajas is distorting, you get all the distorting effects of it come through in our society as well. And this is why if you look at very successful people, they've often got mental health issues that drive them, or psychological issues that make them ambitious, that drive them, that keep them going. Often the most successful business people are very neurotic because they have to constantly think of everything and be very, very active, have very active minds. So yes, becoming sattvic can become very detrimental to your ability to function in the world, which is why when you're a spiritual seeker and you start becoming more sattvic, you start becoming dispassionate. This is another feature of genuine teaching, by the way. Key feature of genuine teaching is dispassion and renunciation. Very important. Is that we start giving up worldly things, worldly desires, pleasure, worldly pleasures. And this is what causes so much conflict for many spiritual seekers in this modern world, which is Rajasic focused, Rajas focused. How do you survive? There's no social system in place for sattvic people. There's not much of a social system in place for tamasic people either, which is a huge chunk of the population. Much more of a minority of the population have got sattvic problems. This is the spiritual seekers, where we come closer to God and we feel like doing less, not because we're lazy bums, although we might be as well. I'm joking, but because we're becoming more and more dispassionate and we're feeling happier in ourselves. And our goals have changed from the worldly to the spiritual. Whereas the tamasic person is at home not doing anything because they feel weighed down and dull and negative. A sattvic person is letting go of the world because of a higher calling. So true liberating teaching always veers towards dispassion, renunciation of the world. And this is why it's very difficult if if there's a genuine realized teacher, they're not going to be into the world so much. They won't be, generally speaking. Again, there may be exceptions. It's for you to discern. But people couldn't get Ramana to leave Arunachala. They said to him, you could do so much more good in the world if you traveled. And he said, how do you know I'm not doing it now? My silent power. See, what is the whole world is a projection of the mind. Ramana, sometimes if you look hard enough, you'll see who says, look at that person, he's running this way and that way. Why is he, he'll talk about another teacher, another guru. So why is this person running this way and that way?